could play music while I'm getting started here, huh? Really? Is this dead? Don't be dead. I don't have time for dead. Let's get you going. There you are. Okay. All right, we'll get you charging. Good morning. You are early. I am late. That's the thing. I'm just late. You guys are right on time. Okay. Yeah, let's get that going over on the tubers. And then we get TikTok pulled up over here. Oh, am I muted? Yes, I am. Log in. This is the fun behind the scenes, like of me getting YouTube going. You guys, this is a very high production company. It runs solely on your gifts and donations. That's the high production you get. Oh, I don't even know why I'm opening that yet, because I need to go over here. I need to go to here. Okay. Now click on that, and then click on this, and then do this. Are we? Yes, we are. We're good to go over on the YouTubes. Lately, they've been saying my sound is shitty. I might have to restart again if they say that again. Good morning, Jared. Good morning, everybody. Have some fun things today. I do have an Auntie sermon for you today. Well, that one's not fun. It's about grief, but I also have some artwork that we could judge. I pulled up some Christian artwork and some atheist. I don't know if I pulled up very much atheist artwork because I ran out of time, but we could still judge the Christian artwork because I think that would be fun. I could show you guys my favorite piece of Christian artwork ever. Yeah. So, oh, hey, Bree, how are you? I saw your live this morning for a bit while I was working. If you guys can tap the screen, share out the live. You seem to have some very lovely conversations. Unlike me. My conversations get a little more heated. Not intentionally. I really do not set out each day and say, hey, you know what I'm going to do today is fight with a mog. I don't do that. I know the Born Again Atheist does. She's a badass. And she gets up each day ready to spar. She's like, here I am. Hit me with your best shot. I know I do get some annoying guests, and I don't know. That's funny. I wonder if like young men are just like, oh, here's an older woman. I'll beat up on her or something. I don't know like what it is about me. I know that I am what they love to hate, right? A woman who is older. That means I've survived. They don't like a woman who can survive, right? I am an atheist. I am outspoken. I'm overweight. I'm all the things that they love to hate. And I'm a supporter of the LGBTQIA community. I will not call myself an ally because I think that you have to be given that name by somebody else. But I support the LGBTQIA and love the LGBTQIA. And so those things are the things that piss them off the most in life, which is weird. It's just weird. Thank you so much for the gifts, Ty here and Jenny. And you guys, the box is open if some friendlies want to come up and hang out this morning. Jared, good to see you. I think I said that already, but you know, saying it again doesn't hurt. Thank you for the heart me. Petty Fog, good to see you. Viola, welcome in. And of course, if you are a believer, feel free to come on up. Once we get about 20 people in here, I can do my Auntie Sermon this morning. We're going to be talking about Deborah, but not the judge, Deborah. Did you know there was another Deborah in the Bible? I'm not really sure that I did until I stumbled upon her. As you know, my Auntie Sermons are every girl or girls, woman or women, named or unnamed, in the Bible in chronological order. We are decentering the men, and we are asking the women to step forward, and we're telling their stories, and we're letting their voices speak since we don't get to hear them. And Auntie Sermons, the podcast, is now available everywhere you listen to your podcasts. So go check out Auntie Sermons. The first episode is short, okay? My Auntie Sermons are not all short. So don't sit there and think, oh, good, a short little podcast I can listen to, because some weeks it is not short. Just like your pastor on Sunday morning, some days I can't shut the fuck up. And so you have to hear a little bit longer sermon, okay? That was my Dr. Pepper, baby. It's good and nice. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah, guest box is open. Oop.
Hi, my darling.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Just shopping for Valentine's Day things for tonight.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Would you have any fun plans this weekend? Mm-mm.
No, my husband and I have been married 30 years, and he's an engineer. So if you don't know, engineers just don't think like that. And so I used to get so upset that he wasn't more romantic. But I think in my older age, I think, what the hell doesn't he give me? If I want something, he gives it to me. So he probably thinks like, what can I give her? I give her whatever she wants, like, I mean, within reason, obviously, like,
Yeah.
within our budget, within our lifestyle, right? So I think in his mind, he's like, if she wants something, I'll give it to her.
Yeah, right? I feel that.
Yeah.
My husband's super not romantic, but I made us a reservation at a fondue place because I was like, you may not be romantic, but I am, so I'm gonna drag your butt with me.
And sometimes I am romantic and I will, insist on some romance. But right now I was like, I don't care, do whatever
Totally
you
fair.
want. Hey, TikTok user, can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
Yeah, I'm 27 years old.
Okay, and are you a believer of the God of the Bible?
I am.
All right, so we have 3 topics today. The first topic is Christians don't believe in miracles. I don't really think they do. I'll explain that if that's the topic you choose. The topic 2 is why should women be Christian? And the last is I'm an atheist. Let's go question for question, not debate, just ask each other questions.
Sure. How about number
Which
1?
one would you like? Okay. I don't think Christians believe in miracles because every time they tell me about a miracle, it is something that is just natural. It's something that can be explained away very easily. But when I ask them to perform an actual miracle, they make every excuse in the world for why they can't do the actual miracle.
Sure. Are you familiar with the Bible?
Yes.
Have you read it?
Yes, I have it right here. Do you have yours?
Well, I'm in my car. I don't have it, but I do find a lot of people that talk about a lot of people who talk about Christianity. I always ask them if they've read the Bible because, and I'm not saying you are obviously, but just in general, there are a lot of people that speak on Christianity or even other religions, and they've never read the text of the religion.
There's a lot of Christians like that too. It's crazy. So many Christians come up on my live and talk about the Bible and defend verses that they've never read before.
Sure. So, in terms of miracles, does it say in the Bible that Christ performed miracles?
It tells you of miracles that he performed. It. I don't know if it actually says this was a miracle, but walking on water, it would certainly be considered a miracle. Turning water into wine would certainly be considered a miracle, and raising somebody from the dead would certainly be called a miracle.
Gotcha. So if you're a Christian, and also it's another thing to note, I mean, there's hundreds of different sects of Christianity. I would say that probably the largest, and the one that if you wanted to like debate Christianity or talk about it, I think it's probably the most fair to talk about the Catholics, because they are the original Church of Jesus Christ. They are the only actual real institution in terms of Christianity outside of maybe like Mormonism. So from the Catholics' perspective, the Catechism would tell you that you do believe that Jesus performed miracles. And so if that is the official stance of the largest Christian church on the planet, how can we make the argument that Christians do not believe in miracles? Because even though I would say that I can't perform a miracle...
I already made it, and you didn't address anything I said. I already made my argument, and you addressed zero of the things I said.
So your argument was that when you ask Christians to perform miracles, they can't.
They say, they make excuses for why it can't be done. And what else did I say?
You tell me.
Nope. If you didn't listen to me, we can't have this conversation. I demand respect from my guests.
Well, the beginning of what you said, you finished by saying that when you ask Christians to perform miracles, they cannot produce miracles for you.
But that's not all I said. And if you can't listen to my voice, we can't have this conversation.
Okay, so just because I'm asking you to clarify what you said earlier when you made two different
Not
points.
Clarify, you're asking me to repeat myself.
Okay, so you're not willing to repeat yourself?
Not if you're not willing to listen to me, nope.
Okay, so I was...
I don't repeat myself for men.
You're about to run?
I don't do that. The fact that you did not have the respect to listen to me the first time I said it tells me that you don't want to have this conversation. And I don't feel like having that conversation with you.
Why do men always feel like they are owed women's voices?
I do not know.
Like,
I do not know.
Maybe if you just listened to us in the first place.
Exactly. It's certainly, the last thing you said was exactly, you remembered only the last thing I said. That tells me you didn't listen to the whole rest of that, you know? Josh, I accepted your, it really is. I accepted your invite, but for some reason you dropped down. You guys, I'm going to do my Auntie sermon here in a second, but I need to make sure my iPad's going to be able to work because I didn't charge it. Oh, okay. I could do that. Okay. You know, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to talk about a little bit today, but in the Auntie sermon, but G tweet, if you want to come up when I'm done doing my Auntie sermon, I'll bring you up. But right now I'm going to be doing something else for a minute. Let me open this up all the way. Okay, so I'm going through the Bible and I'm writing a sermon about each woman in the Bible, but I call them Auntie sermons because they're not like to, preach the Bible to you. It's more like reevaluating these women in the Bible. And so I called them Auntie sermons because like they were the antithesis of a sermon. But my chat GPT or whatever, my AI thought I was saying AUNTIE. And then I kind of liked that. So I kept that name. That's why they're called Auntie sermons. And in going through them, man, it's really eye-opening for my deconstruction to go through these stories, to see the lack of women's voices, to see how women are treated, to see what their purposes are for, to think that I thought this God loved me. And then to read his book and realize I think he hated me. It's like if you've ever broke up with somebody and then you realize how much they were like really shitty to you, and you're like, oh my God, they were worse than I thought. You guys have a little flash goal. If you can, it's just one coin. I just need 12 of you to send one each. And then that'll help me reach my goal. We've got over 20 people in here now. Thank you so much. If we can get the likes up to 5,000 as quickly as possible and the shares up to 100. We're at 47. So I need you guys to repost, copy link, send out to your Discords. I'm going to go ahead and begin today's Auntie Sermon. Today's Auntie Sermon is about Deborah the maid. Okay, this one's going to be a hard one for me. I'm trying to mentally be there. The process and the grief. When I started writing today's sermon, I did it the way I do every sermon. I begin with research. I look up who the next woman is listed chronologically in the Bible. I'm doing this methodically. I'm not cherry picking. I'm not just revisiting the same women you've already heard about in every women's Bible study you've ever attended. There are so many women who never got to tell their stories. So I dig. I go into the text and I pull them out. I bring them to the center. If she has a name, I study it in the original Hebrew. I examine what it meant in her world. Then I research the rabbinic teachings, Rashi, other rabbis, Midrash. I look at extra biblical sources and other traditions like the Ethiopian Bible. Then I look at Christian teachings and I think back to what I was taught myself about whoever it is I'm writing about. And when I do this, I often get very sad. This is grief work. It is grief to realize my entire life was given to a religion that did not honor me as a full human being. That at the time I did not realize was a religion written by men, for men, about men. It is grief every time I see how horribly some of these women are treated. I understand that most of these people likely never existed historically. But when I examine this text, I examine them as though they did exist, because that's what I was taught. That's how I was trained to read them. That's how I treated them when I was a Christian. And when you are trained on stories where women are silenced, traded, diminished, or used, you learn, consciously or not, to accept those patterns in real life. The narrative doesn't stay on the page. It teaches people how to treat women. So now I have to mourn them. I mourn the loss of them as real people. I mourn the harm of the narrative, and I mourn the real women throughout history who were treated just like them. Because this was the story people were teaching each other about women. And Deborah brought me to tears. She was loved enough that they recorded her name and her death. She was a servant. She was never a mother in the story. She did not teach us a moral lesson. She is not a cautionary tale. But she was remarkable enough that they named her. And they mourned when she died. And walking through this Bible methodically, writing a sermon for each and every woman has been grief work for me. So that's where we're starting today. With grief. Genesis 35:8 in the World English Bible. Remember, I have to use that because it is in the public domain. The verse and her name. Deborah, Rebecca's nurse, died, and she was buried below Bethel under the oak. and its name was called Elan Bakuth. That's it. One sentence. A lifetime reduced to a burial notice. I used to make memorial videos after someone passed away when I was an event photographer and videographer. I would ask the family to give me 100 photos. And sometimes the person who had died was 90 years old. I remember thinking how sad it was that I had to sum up an entire life in only 100 photos. That was barely one photo per year. And here she is. She only gets one sentence, just one. She is introduced and eulogized in the same breath. We are told her name, we are told her role, we are told where she was buried, and we are told that they wept enough to name the land after their grief. Her name is Deborah, in Hebrew, Devorah. It means bee. And isn't it that interesting? Because there is another Deborah in the Bible, the prophet and judge in Judges. And she carries the same name, same word, same symbol, different social permission. In Hebrew imagery, a bee is not lazy. A bee is industrious, organized, communal, protective. Bees produce sweetness. Bees defend the hive. Bees work constantly. One Deborah led armies. This Deborah likely cleaned, nursed, raised, remembered. Same name, different sphere. And isn't it interesting how often women are praised for being busy little bees? Proverbs 31 tells us to rise before the sun, go to sleep after everyone else, produce goods, buy property, serve our families, make our husbands respected at the gates, and somewhere in there, we disappear. But Deborah's name doesn't just mean busy. Bees are fierce. Bees protect. Bees create structure and community. Maybe her name isn't about productivity. Maybe it's about the kind of woman who holds a whole system together. Rabbinic teachings. Who was she? Rabbinic tradition refuses to let Deborah remain a throwaway sentence. First, the rabbis almost universally identify her as the same unnamed nurse mentioned in Genesis 24. The nurse who left Aram and with Rebekah when she married Isaac. If that's true, Deborah would have traveled hundreds of miles from her homeland, lived in Isaac's household for decades, helped raise Jacob and Esau, possibly been present for the deception of Isaac, watched Jacob flee, and then somehow been reunited with him before her death at Bethel. She wasn't just a servant. She was a multi-generational infrastructure. Rashi and other rabbinic commentators also wrestle with something strange. The Bible never records Rebekah's death. So some rabbis suggest that Deborah's death is mentioned as a way of signaling Rebekah's death nearby in the narrative. That may be why the place is called Oak of Weepings, plural, 2 losses. Layered grief. The matriarch dies, the nurse dies, the generation of mothers closes. The rabbis sometimes suggest that Rebekah may have sent Deborah to Jacob years earlier to fulfill her promise that she would send for him when Esau's anger cooled. That would make Deborah more than a nurse. She would be a messenger, a bridge, a carrier of maternal intention. She may have been the last connection Jacob had to his mother's household. When she dies, the thread snaps. So imagine her. She would have bathed children, cleaned wounds, held babies through fevers, managed domestic rhythms, known family secrets, heard private fears, witnessed covenants promised up close. She wiped the noses, she wiped the messes, she probably wiped the tears. And when she died, they wept enough to rename the land. The rabbis don't give her speeches. They don't romanticize her, but they do insist that her death matter. And in rabbinic reading, nothing is mentioned accidentally. Christian teachings, the God who sees. When Christian commentators talk about Deborah, they usually take a very specific angle. They say, see, God remembers the faithful unseen servant. They point out the text pauses to name her. The oak is named after mourning, that she must have been deeply loved, and many sermons use her as an example of quiet faithfulness. But this is the same move Christians make with Hagar. When Hagar names God, the God who sees, we're told to be moved. We're told it's beautiful. We're told it's mercy that God would see a lowly servant. But that's not how I read it anymore. When I read Hagar's story, again with my Christian bloodstained glasses, and yes, I'm borrowing that phrase from Joel, I didn't hear gratitude. I heard indictment. The God who sees, you saw it. You saw the abuse. You saw the hierarchy. You saw the exploitation. You saw how I was treated, and you did nothing. That's what my song, You Saw It, is about. The God who sees. Nothing can hide from you. The God who sees nothing outside your view. He sees everything. He saw Hagar's suffering. He saw Deborah's lifetime of labor. He sees the hierarchy. He sees the injustice, and yet the system continues. So when Christians say, isn't it beautiful that God sees the lowly servant? I have to ask, why is she lowly at all? If God sees everything, then he sees the structure. And if he sees the structure and does nothing, what exactly are we celebrating? Deborah wasn't invisible. She was foundational. And the fact that we only notice her in death should not comfort us. It should unsettle us. The woman we miss too late. I don't know why Deborah has brought me so much grief today. I have been mourning her all day. And I realize it isn't just Deborah. Give me 1 second. It is just Deborah. It's my mother. Even with our complicated relationship. It's my sister Linda, who passed away when I was young. It's the women who stepped in when they knew I didn't have what I needed at home. It's the women who held me together in quiet ways. Deborah represents something familiar. She was genuinely loved. We know that because they wept. We know that because they named the land after their grief. But she was not written about while she was alive. If she had been appreciated the way she deserved, we would have stories. We would have dialogue. We would have her voice. Instead, we have her funeral. And that is something the world does to women over and over again. We miss them once they are gone. We don't appreciate and celebrate them fully while they are here. Take Harriet Tubman. She escaped slavery and then returned again and again to rescue others through the Underground Railroad. She served as a scout and a spy under the Civil War. She led armies, expeditions. She freed hundreds. And yet, while she was alive, she struggled financially. She had to fight for her military pension. She was not nationally celebrated in the way she is now. It was after her death the statues were raised, after her death that she became a symbol, after her death that the country decided she was heroic. Or Rosa Parks. We are taught a softened version of her story, a tired seamstress who simply didn't want to give up her seat. But Rosa Parks was a trained activist. She worked with the NAACP. She faced threats, lost her job, and lived under constant pressure after the bus boycott began. While she was alive, she was controversial. While she was alive, she was disruptive. After she died, she became safe. After she died, she became a symbol. After she died, the same country that made her fight. I'm sorry. That was a mistake. That was supposed to be for... sometimes I'm working these things out live. That was about Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman had to fight for her pension, and the country didn't love her until after she died. We do this. We grieve loudly once women are gone. We build monuments. We sanitize their stories. We honor them when they can no longer challenge us. And sometimes the grief is even more complicated. In deconstruction, we grieve people who are still alive. Women we loved. Women who loved us. Women who can no longer have a relationship with us because we are no longer believers. Once we have the faith, we are called demonic. Once we leave the faith, we are called demonic, satanic, witches, evil. And sometimes the women who once held us close now hold us at a distance. So Deborah's story is not just about ancient grief. It's about the grief of loving women in systems that don't fully honor them. It's about missing the women too late. It's about appreciating women after damage is done. It's about mourning relationships that changed when belief changed. Deborah was loved, but she was not narrated, and that tension is where the grief lives. Let's go back to Deborah. I can't help but picture her there the day Jacob and Esau were born. Do you think she held Esau just a little tighter sometimes? Do you think she ever slipped him an extra piece of bread with honey when she saw the imbalance? When she saw how their mother favored Jacob? She was there. She helped raise them. And you know what's interesting? They never record Rebecca's death. They record Rachel's. They record Sarah's. But Rebecca's death is silent. Deborah is not. Was she more present in their daily lives than we realize? Sometimes caregivers are. Sometimes the woman doing the labor becomes the one who mothers most consistently. We don't know. And that's what breaks my heart. We don't know because the book doesn't give her a voice. And I keep mourning the lack of voices in this book for women. It makes me legitimately sad. There's an emotion here I can't fully explain. I spent my entire life revering this book, looking for myself in it, believing these were real people, believing this was sacred history. And now I go back through it methodically, looking for the women, and I find how absent we are. Or worse, how often we are present only as props, as wombs, as warnings, as collateral damage in stories about men. I have to reiterate that I completely understand most of these people likely never existed historically. I know that. But they existed for me. I was taught they were real. I was shaped by their stories. I measured myself against them. I feared becoming them. And now reading them, seeing the hierarchy, seeing the imbalance, seeing the silence has been overwhelming. It has been mind-shifting. It has been grief. It has been therapy. Because I am writing, I am processing, I am questioning, I am relating. And maybe Deborah's story isn't here to give us more details. Maybe it's here to let us feel the absence. Maybe it is here to teach us how to grieve what wasn't recorded. Deborah was loved. We know that because they wept. But we don't know her voice. And that tension between love and silence is where I'm standing today. If you, like me, have ever searched this book for yourself and struggled to find her, if you have ever grieved women whose stories are not fully told, if you have ever had to mourn relationships that changed when your belief changed, you're not crazy. You're not weak. You're doing grief work. And maybe the only honest thing we can do is this. Don't wait for the oak. Don't wait until the funeral. Tell the women in your life who they are now. Amplify them now. Listen to them now. Hold them and honor them now. Record their stories now. Because once they are gone, all we are left with are trees named after tears. And that's today's Auntie Sermon. I always feel, maybe I should play my song.
That was so powerful, bro.
Thank you. I will play the song, You Saw It, since I mentioned it in the sermon. This is the song that I wrote for Hagar. It's actually one of my favorite songs that I've written. The guest box is open. If you are friendly, want to come up, wanted to share something, come on up. If you're a believer, we've got questions we'd like to talk about. The guest box is open.
Men didn't have the nerve to name you, not with truth, not with blood on their hands. They spoke around you, over you, safe behind their power and plans. They praised what you did for them. They trembled as you gave your name. They wouldn't dare think to name you. No, that would be my claim to fame. I didn't bow when you found me alone. No one else to hear what I'd say. You didn't offer a name for me to whisper, so I named you from my view of you that day. You didn't offer me a covenant, no altar, no future, no claim. What I had was a body for trading, and the courage to give you a name. The God who sees, nothing can hide from you. The God who sees, nothing outside your view. You saw it, 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 you saw it. The story's been told for generations, passed along from voice to ear. I called you the God who sees, but it's not how it appears. Like a game of telephone, it traveled, every telling changed the view. Each preaching made it softer, each repeat a little more askew. You saw it, you saw it. Far from my home, isolated, afraid, a body alone in a borrowed land. You saw me doing what I had to do, trying to obey their every command. You saw the cruelty, saw it plain, saw it hand me over like a toy. You saw what was taken again and again. You saw my body and heart destroyed. I ran when escape came into view. Believe distance might set me free, but you found me there in the wilderness and sent me back to what you could see. I named you the God who sees. They heard it as something kind. They said you saw my heart, said it was part of your design. It was never meant to compliment. I named you the God who sees. It was always an indictment. You see it all and do nothing. You see the children, you see their pain, their hunger, their bruises, their abuse. You see the men who harm them while claiming they worship you. You see global wars, you see the suffering. You see it all from your throne. you see. You saw it, 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 you are the God who sees. You saw it, you saw it, you saw it.
You guys, that's The God Who Sees. That's on my album, Ex Parte. I do not sing. I do not do the music. That's all done by Suna. I just write the lyrics. But that was the song I mentioned in the sermon today. And you guys, guest box is open. Friendlies, believers, anybody can come up. G Tweet was in the guest box, but I guess, oh, are you still there, G Tweet? Guess he didn't like my sermon. Hey, DC, how are you?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Doing good. What's new?
Well, after your sermon, I had to message my mom.
Aww.
Like, hey, just thinking about you.
Yay. Yay. I'm glad. Yeah. Man, it just really made me sad when I read her little verse in there. I was like, that's all she got was one little verse saying she died. There's more than many women get in that Bible, so.
So true. And I really enjoyed it. It was really, really good. And the music, the Hagar song after has just made it perfect. So good.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll see if we can get some conversations going today. I gave people, options today. I did boot the first guest. I should maybe have more patience, but I don't have the Holy Spirit. So that's the problem. You know what I mean? Because you gotta have the Holy Spirit to have patience, right? I just didn't have patience for somebody who I realized didn't listen. He did what, where you're taught to do is where you're supposed to just listen to the last thing somebody says and remember that, and then you can pretend like you heard everything they said. He did that to me, and I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to talk to you now. The fact that you can only repeat the last sentence I said tells me you didn't listen to anything I said.
Exactly.
That's okay. Anybody can come up, Geeky. Anybody can come up. As long as you know, don't be a bigot or a racist or anything like that.
Oh, shit. You said that, then you brought me.
DC, how did you want to talk to No Degree today?
Hell no.
Hi, No Degree. How are you today?
I thought that anybody could come up.
I did let you up. I just
y'all were
wanted to know
open.
if DC wanted to talk to you.
Bigots and racists. And No Degree, why don't you and I do question for question? That way we could get to know
Question
you.
for
What do you think
question?
about that?
Sure.
Yeah, you ask me a question. I'll answer honestly. I will not debate you when you give a response, okay?
Sure.
I just want to hear you. Okay. So, my first question would be, how can God be all loving and merciful and then burn billions of people for eternity in hell?
Well, if you define all loving as loving everything, then I would say he couldn't. Because obviously God doesn't love evil things. So if that's how you're defining all loving, then I would agree he couldn't. But if you're defining all loving as something like his actions are based in love, or that is motivated by love, all of his actions, then you could say he's all loving in that regard. So it depends on how you define all loving.
What's your question for me?
Do you think that beliefs things that you believe to be true should be able to be demonstrated to someone like a skeptic in order to have justification for the belief?
I think. Wait. So are you saying? Let me make sure I understood the question. Okay, I really am trying to make sure I understood the question. Okay, are you asking me like if you believed something, in order for me to be okay with your belief, I would need you to demonstrate it to me, or are you saying that if you want to convince me to believe something, you need to demonstrate it to me? You're muted. I don't know if you know that. And I didn't mute you. I don't.
I would say, I'll give you the context. I've often heard atheists say, if you can't demonstrate your beliefs to be true, then you don't have justification to believe them to be true. So basically, that's what I'm going at. And whatever they mean by justification, I don't really, or demonstration, okay. I don't really know, because it depends, I guess, on the person.
Okay, here's what I feel about that. I don't care what you believe as long as your beliefs don't do anything to affect my life and what I want to do with my life, unless I'm doing something that harms other people. Okay, but I don't care what you believe. You don't have to demonstrate it to me. Now, if you're trying to tell me I have to believe like you, you're going to need to demonstrate it to me. You're going to need to show me something that makes it a reason to believe it, because I am a skeptic. I'm not going to just believe anything. So that's how I would answer that question. Okay, here's my next question. Why is a lack of belief evil?
Well, it wouldn't be evil depending upon I guess what you say. If you're saying just a lack of belief in something, I don't think that's necessarily evil. But if you're talking about a lack of belief in God,
that's what I mean. I'm talking about lack of belief in God. Why does God find that to be evil?
I think from my Christian perspective, in order to obtain this, I guess, quote, lack of belief, you have to do certain things like, according to the Bible, suppress the truth and unrighteousness. So if you're suppressing the truth and unrighteousness that leads to this lack of belief, then that would be evil.
Okay.
How many of you guys have your babies boiling in the pot right now to suppress your
No,
belief?
stop. Stop. Hang on one second. I want to write this down before I forget. Okay, go ahead. Your question.
If Christianity were true, would you want to be a Christian?
It would depend, because there's 45,000 different denominations of Christianity, and within each denomination there are so many more little side beliefs that people believe. I actually believe that I would have to say that almost every Christian has a different idea of who the God is, what their belief system is. One will believe that you can eat shrimp. Another will believe that you have to hold the Torah to. Another will believe that you have to do works. Another believe that it's, you don't, or whatever.
Well, what about
it would depend.
Like, let me be more specific. According to however you understand the Bible to be and what it teaches about Christianity and Jesus, if that were true, would you want to be a Christian? However you understand.
Well, now you got to sneak in the way I understand it right now, no, that's why I'm not a Christian.
Okay, so even if it's the case you had undeniable evidence, you still wouldn't want to be a Christian.
Undeniable evidence of what?
that Christianity is true. We still wouldn't want
again. If you're telling me that this God who chose to completely disregard women, treat us like shit, use us as property, literally cut us up into 12 pieces and send us out to his tribes. If you're asking me if I want to worship this God because somehow he finds out, no, he's an evil God. I want to worship a good God. And if this was true, that means there's other gods that exist, because this Bible tells you other gods exist. So if this is true, I would worship one of the more loving gods within that book, not Yahweh.
Okay.
So, do you believe that people choose what they believe?
I believe that they make choices that leads to their beliefs. They may not directly choose what they believe, but I believe that they make certain individual choices that leads down a pathway to a belief. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What's your next question?
What do you think, from my experience, bringing up biblical slavery is probably one of the number one things that atheists bring up. In fact, Matt Dillahunty says that it's his, quote, go-to argument against Christians. What do you think that the point is? What's the atheist trying to accomplish when they do that?
The main thing that most atheists are trying to point out is that most Christians believe that the God is all loving, meaning he is love in and of itself. He is love. And then he goes on to tell you things that love is and is not. And in doing so, you cannot be all loving and also condone slavery. And Christians will say he doesn't condone it. He gives rules for it. But I often point out to them that I have 3 children, and I do not condone stealing. I don't. I think that's horrible. You should not steal from anybody. I've never condoned it. I just gave my children rules for it, because you know what? People steal. That's what people do. And if they are going to steal, I want them to know where to steal, how to steal, which stores to steal from, where the cameras are at all times, only certain businesses. We don't want to steal from mom and pop businesses, but which businesses to steal from. I don't condone stealing. And that's the argument. Y'all keep saying he doesn't condone it, but he gives his children rules on how to do it. Hang on 1 second, please. Oh, thank you. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Got a package delivered. Okay, do either of you want to ask No Degree a question?
Bree, how about you?
No, thank you.
Okay. Do you, DC? No?
Well, I mean, I like No Degree, and I mean, I would say, I've actually been spending time in my local community, and I've been talking with some pastors even in my town, and I actually talked to one, I think he's Episcopalian pastor, or Presbyterian, a Presbyterian pastor, and he was telling me, he's retired, but like he doesn't even believe Jesus is God. So what would you say to the Christians who've went to seminary and still consider themselves Christians, but don't necessarily believe, they believe this is more of a mythology than reality?
I would definitely say they're not Christians. Would be my view.
So by that, I would not want to be a Christian. To answer your earlier question. Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead, No Degree. Do you want to ask one of us? And you guys, this time I'm going to let anybody answer who wants to answer, but just one of us, okay? Go ahead,
Yeah.
you ask us a question.
If a lawmaker, a state or something, gives criteria and rules on how to unalive a human being, and maybe how to tear them apart, things like this inside their mother, would you agree that that is the condoning of unaliving another human being who done nothing to deserve it?
Well, first of all, if you're talking about the Bible, I did think that was horrible because, first of all, they don't even know if the woman is guilty of adultery or not.
Well,
and then they go ahead and prescribe. Right, in the Bible. So in the Bible, when they do this thing, not only does it cause the abortion of the baby, it also causes it to destroy the womb. And that woman could have legitimately been pregnant by her husband who was accusing her of this.
Well, I'm specifically asking, is that if it's the law is allowed to do these things in certain contexts, certain criteria, would that not be?
Are you asking me if I think that women should be able to have abortions in my country?
No, I'm asking if it's by the same criteria you're saying the Bible's condoning slavery. Wouldn't we also say that if you believe in my body, my choice, then that's actually the condoning of another human being by dissection?
No, it's not, because actually that's not how abortions work. And actually, most abortions are performed within the first trimester before the zygote is even sentient. So it is just cells at that time. It is not a human. And that is why women choose to do it during that first trimester, because women don't want to go around committing murder. That's not what's happening. It's usually Republican men getting women pregnant, then telling them, go have an abortion and I'll pay for it. And don't tell anybody we did this. And let's go to church on Sunday and pretend that I am not screwing you when you're underage. Let's do that.
Okay, so, but that's not, it's even though it's allowed by law under this criteria, you don't think that's condoning the unaliving of another human being?
No, I do not. But I do think it was when it was in the Bible. And that is because it often left the women barren. It was often the man's own child. And it often unalived the women as well.
Okay.
Because her uterus fell out.
Okay.
So that would be how I feel about that. So what do you do with Romans 9? You said that you believe that people make choices and those choices lead to their beliefs. But in Romans 9, God says that he designed us this way.
Yeah, I think God designed us to be able to make free choices.
That's not what he says. He said he made some of us for destruction.
Well, I think that that doesn't negate that you still have a choice, because in Timothy it
does. It definitely negates it.
Well,
it says that we did not have a choice.
I wouldn't say that it does, because in Timothy, Paul specifically talks about vessels of wrath as well. But he says, so long as you continue in what you're doing, like continuing in this, then you will not be a vessel of wrath. So there is this implication that...
But that would just be a contradiction, and that would be Paul contradicting himself, which
I thought that you weren't...
pretty common for Paul.
I thought you weren't going to debate me. I thought you were just wanting me to ask questions.
I'm not debating you, but the thing is that you're saying that these things say stuff that they don't say.
No, they do.
You're negating the stuff that I asked you about. You're negating what I'm asking you about, which is Romans.
Yeah,
you're just saying that Romans does say that, but I have this other verse over here that negates it, which would make it just a contradiction, is all I'm saying. You see what I'm saying?
I don't think it's a logical. It's logically necessity. A logical necessity that is a contradiction. I think it can be resolved by Paul not necessarily negating free will by saying this.
You guys, the people in my chat are just so ridiculous. This guy said the AB clinic near my Christian college was a flutter with female students skating ABs. You know that's true. You know that's true. Okay, sorry.
Security.
Okay, what is your next question?
Well, since it's the case that by the criteria y'all are using for condoning and like condone slavery, if there's a law that allows, and we know according to science, that a life in the womb is a human life.
We're not going to keep doing the AB. We're not going to keep doing the AB. I've already told you my stance on it.
Well, I'm trying to figure out.
Wait, hang on one second.
You would understand how it seems to be a contradiction of yourself.
Oh, no degree. Hang on one second. Bree, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm not anticipating an honest answer of this one at all. But why do you think it's your place to question what women do with women's bodies? You, as a male-presenting figure, should not care. It's nothing to do with you. So I don't understand why this is something that you decided to like hang your hat on. That has been the majority of what your questions have been surrounding at this point. You've been building.
You don't even care what I think. You don't even care what I think about anything else. You don't care what I think about creation. But I didn't bring up slavery, okay? You did. I didn't bring up AB. You did. You keep bringing up things that I didn't bring up instead of trying to get to know me. You're bringing up arguments you've had on other lives with other creators, and you've decided I'm going to make Crystal pay for every argument I've had with every other creator. And I've asked you honest questions about your actual belief system. And I've listened to you, and instead you're like, nope, I want to show Crystal like how shitty all these other creators' arguments are. They're not shitty, by the way.
No,
it's
a stupid argument.
It's the only argument you have. Do you know that I've watched you go on live, and the argument is God real, and you argue about abortion?
Yeah, I'm trying to show you how the way you define.
You're not showing anybody. You're showing everybody that you are a one-trick pony, and you're not good at that trick.
It's a P and not P. You've contradicted yourself and you didn't realize it.
No, I haven't contradicted myself because a zygote is not sentient. It is not human life. It is not
a human life.
Same.
It is a human life.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is. By scientific standards,
no, it is not.
In the
no, it is
womb,
not.
Yes, it is.
No, it is
That's
not.
not even.
And it's not by your God standard either, because it did not breathe the breath of life. A baby does not even have a monetary value in your Bible. Your God didn't give a fuck about babies. He killed more babies. And if you cared so much about, why don't you ask your God why 23 million miscarriages happen a year? Good day, sir. I said good day. No, I'm just kidding. That last good day was just... I said get me to stop. Period, y'all. No, like what? I was really trying to have an honest conversation with him today. I really was. But he cannot stop talking about abortion. This man has one thing, and that is abortion versus slavery.
It's his only talking point. He started building it up from the first fucking question. Anyway.
Oh my God.
The man is like so interested about abortion, it gives off like grapey vibes.
Yeah. Okay, just because he's gone and now I need a song to cleanse my palate, we're gonna play.
Miss me, now you gotta kiss me. You interrupt my sentence, call it just a thought. Say you love strong women till you get caught. You want a queen who keeps it light and sweet. But bow down, little man, and kiss my feet. Yeah, you're misinformed, misguided, mistaken. And that charm, boy, I know you're faking. Me with that misogyny. You ain't the man you think you be. Miss me with that hypocrisy. Your fragile ego and royalty. I'm misbehaving and just being me. Miss me with that misogyny. You quote some podcast, call it intellect. But all I see is you begging for respect. You rate our bodies, dismiss our brains. tone. Miss me with your sigh, miss me with your sweetheart. Boy, bye, bye, bye. Miss me with that misogyny. Don't need your fake apology. Miss me, can't you see? I'm a star. You're just an extra baby. Miss me with that misogyny. Misogyny. Hey, lady.
No, I wasn't going to play that. No, you don't get to sing. Shut up, lady.
One of these days, I'm gonna end up making videos to like all of your songs.
I would love that. I love that. Did I send you the thing for Cuntified? I need people to lip sync it for my music video.
I don't think so, but I'm down.
Okay, I'll send that over to you.
Maybe I can convince my Galentine's party to do a lip sync part for it tonight.
Oh, that would be so fun. Oh my God, I would love that.
We're all going to be in pajamas and be all girly and cute. Like, it'd be perfect.
Oh, that would be so amazing. Oh my God. Okay,
tonight.
I'm sending that to you when we're done. That would be so cool. It's such a great song, too.
I'm obsessed
really
with it. Yeah, I'll ask them for sure. I think I can at least get 3 girls in the video.
Very cool. That would be fun. You guys, the guest box is open. We are talking to believers today. We've got Christians don't believe in miracles. Why should women be Christian? And I'm an atheist. Let's go question for question. If you are a non-believer, you want to come up, you want to tell me how I fucked up my sermon or something. You got some facts that I messed up or whatever. I don't know. But good morning, everybody over on YouTube. I don't know if my sound is shitty over there this morning or not. I'm trying to get that fixed. That is what all your gifts, all your donations go to. If you want to support the show, you can gift the show or you can go to the links in my bio. That helps me get my, it takes money to create, just so you guys know. So it takes equipment. It takes all kinds of things for me to do the podcast, for me to write the sermons, for me to do the music. So if you want to support all that and you enjoy that, there's plenty of ways in my bio. And if I don't see it and you want me to say something to me in chat, and I'll because sometimes I don't get the notifications. That's why we're trying to upgrade the equipment so I don't miss these notifications.
Wait, pause. You have a podcast?
Yeah, it just started. It just started on Wednesday. It is Auntie Sermons. So it's the sermons that I do here, but in a podcast format so you guys can listen to them later.
That is so cool.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah. So the first one dropped, and I always want to warn everybody. The first one is Eve, and it's very short because I just started. And so the first couple are kind of short, and then I get into a flow of a very specific format that I like, where I go into the verse, the name, the rabbinic teaching, the Christian teaching, some personal stories, or how I tie it into, modern day life. And then I close out the sermon. So now they're longer. So the first one is short. Don't get used to that. Okay. It's not always going to be that short.
I'm really bad at listening.
And that's on Spotify.
Never driving, but I'm obsessed.
I am going to get it out everywhere. The Girls Gone Godless podcast told me how, but I was live when they told me, so I have to go back through and see what they said, or I have to send them a message and go, what did you say? What am I supposed to do? But I will get it out everywhere. But right now it's on Spotify podcast. Jake, come on up. I'll explain why I think that, and we can have a conversation.
Also, just so you're aware, if I don't answer, I'm cleaning, and so I might have stepped away from my phone.
Okay,
I'm here.
Okay.
I just
What'd you say, DC?
I said I sent him an invite.
Okay, cool. I saw something pop up on my screen. That must have been that you sent him an invite. I was like, what happened? Yeah, I just don't think that Christians believe in miracles. I think they do. But then when you press a little bit, you find out that they don't really. That's not really what they believe in.
Exactly.
As you all know. Yeah, right? Exactly. As you all know, I do not think that women should be Christian. Actually, I don't think women should worship the Abrahamic God in any form. Any form. One time I said this and people go, "Oh, really? I thought you were friends with Rabbi Hannah. Tell her that." I'm like, you think she doesn't know I think that? Like, what? She knows. She knows what I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to be like, "Rabbi, don't be a rabbi anymore." I'm not like that. She also doesn't try to get me to be Jewish. Isn't that funny? We both don't pressure each other.
It's almost
Yeah, I
like you
like
guys
rabbis.
respect each other.
Right?
Shocker.
What did you say, DC?
I said I like having rabbi friends.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Hi, Aaliyah. Good to see you. You guys, if you want to come up and chat, we're hanging out. We're talking today, but I would like to talk to believers if there's any believers out there. You know what I did do this week? I followed some Christians so I could invite them. Maybe I need to find them now. I actually wrote down their names so I could find them. So I was like, I'm never going to.
Ooh, hold on. I got some resident Christian friends.
Did I tell you that a thing that I'm going to start doing? So I went to the church Wednesday to hear about homelessness, and the pastor, well, the father, whatever they call themselves, the one with they have like the collars, the white little things. They're not Catholic. But anyways, they do pub theology. And so like they have like doctrinal debates and like they talk about this stuff, which I think actually goes with really well with what we do. And they're like really cool with atheists. I let them know, I definitely don't believe in any of this, but I think it's super interesting and I like having the conversations. And so they're super excited to have me come over, and we literally drink beer. Cool. And yeah, it's super cool.
That is really cool. You guys, the guest box is open. If you want to come up and say hi or hang out for a little bit, it does not matter if you're friendly or not. You can come join us. If I get too friendly heavy, I'll just ask some of you to drop down and we'll try to get a Christian up. But I can change the background, but I kind of like this one because it gives them a choice. And they haven't really been going for my other background. So yeah, I think that, gives them a choice. I just couldn't take no degree anymore, so I had to crash out on it. It felt very cathartic, though. Like, I felt deserved.
Yeah, to be fair, he's the one that crashed out. Like, we were having a good conversation, and he kind of crashed.
Okay. I felt like I did the crashing, but I couldn't take the stupid conversation anymore. And I knew that it would be stupid when he came up. Like, I knew what I was getting myself into, right? But I thought at least when we went Q for a little while, we could have some kind of conversation. I just didn't know that he would really stick with just one topic on every question. At least I switched mine up a little bit. I followed Jamal for Jesus too. Should I send him an invite?
Oh my gosh.
I heard that Jamal for Jesus was like an ism.
He probably is an ism.
I can't remember which ism, but an ism.
Yeah, he probably.
You know what an ism is? Sure. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking
about?
Racism. I think he was I remember it was last night. I think Nick said it. I
think it was anti-Semitic, maybe?
It
Maybe
might
he was a
be. I
Yahtzee.
don't remember.
I don't know. It
Ooh,
was last night on my
that'd be
live, like my super late
crazy.
one.
Preserve. How are you? Persevere. I can't
Persevere.
talk.
Yeah. Yeah, I
How
think
are
I've met
you?
Bree before. Yeah, Persevere. Yeah, I have Mr. Rogers up
Okay.
here. So I'm, that's kind of, as a Christian, I try to emulate him the best I can. But, I'm a disabled man.
Awesome.
So the whole thing about miracles, I mean, it's just rough. Like, how can I say it? I come in here and talk to other Christians, talking about faith and how disabled folks were kind of like targets of everybody's prayers. And it's so harmful. And I just try to steer people away from that the best I can, because over the years, my testimony for, say, I have muscular dystrophy, and I was diagnosed to one form that's more severe, Duchenne, and then later on with study and, coming in for doctor's visits at the MDA clinic, and people told me, you have Becker, which is the least form, but my brother is more severe. But anyway, it was always told as I was healed. We were healed, and my dad was an evangelist, so we were healed. And it's been a journey taking back that story, because that can be so harmful. And I come to realize over the years that as my study, I played basketball and they would study me and my fatigue levels and things like that, hemoglobin. And I was more active than most people they saw, but they basically, without a doubt, it was a misdiagnosis. Like, that's what it was. So as you grow and you learn that, and a lot of the things being brought up, Pentecostal, it's just so harmful. It's always lack of faith. What did your parents do? What did you do? And that is just horrific, especially to a child as a PK. And you hear that constantly. You hear everything in the church anyway. Right. So that's kind of what I try to do. And I have a group where I talk to people, other people that have been traumatized in the church. It's a small group, and we get together. We have atheists and Christians. And so
That's cool.
that's what I'm all about. So
Well, I appreciate that. I think that I don't think that I realized so much when I was a Christian how harmful my rhetoric was around healing and miracles. I've told people many times I really believed God could do anything. I don't know why I made excuses for all the things he didn't do, though.
right.
But I said very harmful things. I told my friend who was in a psych ward that he just needed to wake up each morning and say, "This is the day that the Lord hath made. I shall rejoice and be glad in it." And then make yourself be happy, even if you're not.
Right.
That's harmful. That's some harmful shit to say to another human being. But I thought I had that right because I'm a Christian and I believe that stupid fucking thing that I said.
Yeah.
I really
And
believe
yeah,
it.
right. And if any Christians are hearing this, don't let anybody tell you that there's something wrong with you and you have a lack of faith, because disabled folks, you're one of the strongest people. Like, there's nobody
That's right.
stronger inside. And that's what I'm about. So
That's
just
right.
know that inside, and know there's real people here, and we're there
Make a
for you,
post.
right?
Absolutely.
I
I'm
make a
sorry.
post every single year that says, "I am so sorry for what I said as an evangelical teenager."
Right.
Oh, I love
I
that.
know that's right, Barry.
God,
Yeah.
I'm
So,
sorry.
that's
We
that.
literally
All that is
tracked my
helpful.
pastor's wife, and she had MS, and we thought that God was going to heal her, and she was trapped. This poor thing. Now I'm thinking about it. It's so sad. We were like shabba habba labba and all over her, thinking that she was about to get up and walk, and it was like never happened. And it's it's not only just like telling people they're guilty, but giving them this false like expectation that you're going to be able to pick up your kids, and you're going to be and just trying to like
Right.
all of that is just dark as hell.
Right. I have
Like,
kids.
what Christian are you now? Like, what type?
Yeah, I have kids, and I remember, when they were young, and early on, I couldn't really pick them up. I was able to walk for, probably into my around 40-ish. And so, but a lot of those things I couldn't teach my kids to ride a bike. All these things that I was promised, people, told me that I was going to be healed. My brother is in a Pentecostal church right now, and they're constantly bringing up and praying, praying for him, praying over him, and anointing him with oil and doing all this stuff. And he knows he's going to get healed. At least, there's some, well, it might not happen on this earth or whatever, but he, constantly is dealing every Sunday, often they do that. And it tears me apart, because I was the younger brother, but he was weaker. So I protected him. I pulled him out of a swamp one time. I protected him from a kid trying to essay him. And this kid tried to, bully across the street, tried to unalive me. He was a victim of the foster care system across the street. That was just foster kids over there, and they were just like, there was, all types of sales being held over there and things. And this kid tried to unalive me because I would protect my brother. And that was, and if anything, now that I can't walk, I had an injury and I just, I'm not walking. If anything, protecting him was enough, if I could do that, and that's, but yes, that being told that, and I've been prayed for in public places and restaurants, get up and walk, get up and run.
That's crazy.
Multiple times too, because it didn't work the first time. And then I was like, then it's an awkward thing. It's like, well, I would appreciate you just not pray anymore. I think, so I'm there for my family, right? And it's like, but I don't want to make this a tear fest here, but yeah.
Hang on one second real quick. Hey, Z Happy, you said you would love a private conversation off air, but the goal of the conversation is helping you wonderful people consider other points of view. Well, we do that by having these conversations publicly. Like, we are learning from somebody right now who holds a belief in Jesus. So we can have conversations and we can talk and we can learn from each other. Or you can go hide and do that in DM so that nobody can learn but you. That's up to you. But it doesn't seem like you want to engage and have a genuine conversation. It seems like you want to preach to somebody in private, and that's weird, dude. Don't do that.
Yeah, exactly why I'm glad that you invited me up here, because it's about preventing this from happening. And, we can't achieve like any kind of community and peace, like in having conversations, if we can't be genuine. I'm not up here proselytizing. That's not my thing. People can come and talk to me. I don't ever pressure that, because what is it? You sign somebody's name down or say a prayer. You have no way of determining what's going to happen when they walk away. And people don't have actual empathy. We've seen how Christianity is being used right now. And this is a time for people, I have anxiety and other things, and this is out of my comfort zone, but there was a need, and I'm here to try my best, right? So, and we can't have any kind of connection if we don't listen and just hear, and that's why, like, if you come in and try to witness, it's not going to work. It's just not.
It's not, and I'm also become a different person. I'm not as nice.
Yeah, and
as
it's not a strategy
right
either. It's not like a strategy to witness either. Right. So.
Right. If you come up here to debate, I'm going to match that energy. I'm going to debate you or whatever. But if you want to just have a conversation, that's why I'm an atheist Q for Q. I think it's one of the best ways for believers and non-believers to talk to each other. You ask one question, you let the person answer, and then they ask a question. And that way we both learn from each other, I tried with no degree, but I can only take so much, and then
right. And that's why I came with you guys. Yeah, he's been on multiple things I've been on, and I just can't. Like, I don't try to talk to him. People like that.
Yeah.
They end up questioning my faith. Like I said, that's what happens. because I don't
Oh,
believe,
oh yeah, like for sure.
I don't believe a lot of the things.
You're not a real Christian.
Yeah, I don't believe a lot of things are literal and things like that. Like, the flood covering the earth and like literal creationism. I believe in evolution. I don't believe in it. There's scientific evidence, and I base it on that. That's been tested over the years and years and years, just like my diagnoses, right? And these are good things. Revelation, rapture, that's not real, So I'm willing to come out here and, so whatever, it's not about that, it doesn't, nowhere in the Bible that I see does it address committed relationships, LGBTQ, whatever, that it doesn't prevent people from loving one another. There's no mention of things like that I see. And to just try to tell people who they can't love or what they can't do, when the Bible really doesn't come out strongly against that. It talks about people abandoning a natural use. That means people exploring because they're in idolatry, right? If you guys, so.
So do you want to do question for question with us? Because I think DC and Bree would love to have a conversation with you and learn a little bit more. Do you guys want to do that? Okay. So DC, do you want to ask your question first?
Yeah. So what denomination are you, Preserve? Or do you fall into a denomination?
Right now I don't go, but I, non-denominational, I start, Pentecostal most of my life. I've been Methodist. I've been in any kind of church, pretty much covers all other. My mom's a Catholic. I don't attend, but I have in-laws that are Orthodox, so.
Okay, so now you can ask us a question, and then I'll let Bree answer it.
Oh shit! No pressure.
Yeah,
I'll be right back. You guys talk for a second.
Okay. Let me think. So, what do you guys expect from like a Christian when they come on here? Like, what is your goals? Like, what do you want to come out of the conversation? What are you hoping to achieve? I guess, does that make sense?
So for me, I just want to come to a mutual understanding. One of the biggest issues I have when dealing with Christians is them trying to claim that the Bible doesn't say what it says, or that some things should be interpreted literally and others are just metaphors, with no clear distinction on why the switch up. And that's what frustrates me.
Right.
I just want to come to an understanding, and unfortunately most people don't necessarily want to do that.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's similar. I think we're all similar in that. That's cool.
Whose turn was it?
I guess deconstruct. DC.
Did you ask a question back already, or
I asked Bree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bree, do you want to ask the question to him now?
I've been trying to think of one.
Tough on the spot, right?
It kind of is. It honestly is. I don't have one right this second, but I'll keep trying to think of one.
Okay. DC, do you got one?
I don't, but I'll answer his question and maybe Bree will come up with one.
Okay.
No pressure.
You got 5 minutes. No, I'm joking.
I might come up with one.
He asked, Crystal, like, what's our goal to having these conversations with Christians? And I would say my goal is to find more people who are deconstructing and help build friendships and connections with people who are leaving the faith, or who are leaving a toxic form of the faith, at least.
Right.
And I've really grown in that area too in the past, I don't know, less than a year, probably since November. I really have been growing in that area because I've found more progressive Christians that are not harmful and who support, progressive ways of living. And so they actually give LGBTQ teenagers or young people homes if they get kicked out of their house. And so, like, for me right now, I'm just trying to understand on a real level, like, how to build community without religion and how to do that sort of thing, not necessarily just online, but even like in my local area. And I don't know how to do that. Like, I'm trying to get some people together to build like a secular center, but online I have these conversations just to build community and I guess encourage critical thought. I don't know. What do you want to answer that question? I think it's a really good question.
Wow, there's many reasons why I do
Well,
these
imagine we're all similar.
I'm
sorry.
I think that I do these conversations because I'm deconstructing from the religion. And in having these conversations, I learn more about life in general and topics that I never dreamt I would ever talk about. I learn about history, philosophy, cosmology, all kinds of engineering and science. I sit here and I get to talk to literal poets and scholars and people who've traveled the world, people from all over the world. And to me, that's an amazing experience. And it's helping me in my deconstruction. And I want to help as many women get away from the Abrahamic religions as possible. I think they are so harmful to women. And I think that until women realize how very harmful they are to them and how much they uphold a patriarchal system that is harmful to society, I think we're going to continue to see the downfall of humanity.
Wow. It's a lot. Yeah, I think it's cool though that it seems like us three in a panel have similar, goals. We want to create a community, and that to me seems really amazing. And you're talking about a patriarchal system, and right now, like in our timeline, like just how women are talked about, and I have daughters, and so I tell my daughters, I'm telling them, if a guy says they're Christian, I might not want to date that guy at this point. Like, I totally get it. And they're young women. I was like, if you don't want to get married, I totally understand that right now, because there's some horrible things that guys are talking and how they describe women. And so I'm not going to definitely try to do that, because, growing up, it was like, well, you need to find a good Christian and all this and that. And so right now, for somebody to say that, it's like awful. First of all, I'm not going to tell my daughters to marry, but there's no age.
Yeah,
it's
right.
up to them. So
Right.
my one daughter is a prison guard, and my one daughter is working on her master's right now at Northwestern. So it's like,
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm not trying to interject, but yes, I can understand the treatment of women and reading the Bible, and Paul's words and different words, and I can't justify that, and I'm not going to try to justify that. You know what I mean? Because it's just there's so many instances where you're correct in that area, but I do see people like Lydia and different people mentioned, and I see the people that if you believe Jesus rose in the grave and there was a stone rolled away, the first people there are women, and there are women that are integral to that story. But yes, it's not enough. But I see that, and I try to say, what? Some of the people that when I read the Bible, that I get the most impact, like, that, speaks to me, they are women, and when I think about Lydia, and she was the actual one that was the breadwinner of her house. She made the most money. She made the decisions. Like, I think about those people, but right now for Christians, and there's major denominations that won't allow women to speak. I just can't. women have invaluable things to say, and they are far more superior with their intelligence. I have twins. I would tell you, like, you have to be alert. You have to learn things. And they've kept me on my toes. They've made me more active politically and everything. And I'm teared up. Like the other day, my wife, and I'll stop after this because I'm kind of going off. But like,
it's okay.
My wife had a child. She teaches first grade, and one of her students, that she had would have been 10th grade. He passed, and he had cancer. And there was a real fear, and we're kind of rural where I'm at. But there is a real fear that she would go to this service and, immigrations and customs enforcement would show up. And this is just my life. This is what was happening. And like, I just can't, no more, and there's a lot of Christians that I'm connected to, my family, a lot of people just come out of the woodwork to like harm me and say things horrible and bring me down. I thought we were supposed to uplift as Christians, but that was the real thing, for that kid and feeling that. And then I'm always speaking against racism, and people, like, I've had Christians come out and contact me and say, the more you bring up racism, the more you're promoting racism. And I can't, I just imagine if there is a heaven, if there is whatever, new heavens, new earth, you don't have to believe that. But I see a place where all colors are represented. People that love people you might not understand why they do, or whatever. And if God can't sort that out and deal with that, and if he's putting these people that come and harm me, and as Christians, we're supposed to uplift and encourage and spread joy. And if they're causing nothing but harm, then I will take what I'm doing. I'll trust what I'm doing over that anytime. And if I am in some type of hell, I will take that gladly. You know what I'm saying? So, but there are real things that are going on. And I have one question. I'll let y'all think about it. What is your definition of deconstruction? Like, what does it mean to you? How do you describe it? You can talk about whatever I said before that.
Do you want to go first? No, go ahead. DC, you want to go first?
So, yeah, like before November, like I have a group on Facebook, and there were like tons of like Christians on there that said they were deconstructing, and I am used to TikTok deconstruction. Not trying to be like demeaning or anything, but for real, my deconstruction was deconversion. And it was like, if you're not leaving the faith, I didn't think you were deconstructing. And now I'm more nuanced in that. Now I'm like, you know what? Even looking at my life, it took me 8 years of questioning the faith to realize, you know what, this ain't real. And so deconstruction to me is a journey, right? And everybody, whenever you decide to ask critical thinking and, ask critical questions, use your critical thinking skills, and, challenge the faith, I think that at that point, you have decided to start a deconstruction journey. Now, I do believe, like, whenever people can reconstruct their faith, but I don't think reconstruction is deconstruction. I think people can stop deconstruction, and they could say, okay, well, I think I've got, a lot of the problematic or toxic things figured out, and I'm going to reconstruct my faith, which is, valid. I'm not going to tell anybody what to believe. But for me, deconstruction led to deconversion. And so, but I no longer am I trying to force that on anybody else.
Right.
Makes sense.
Bree, do you want to talk about what you think deconstruction means to you?
Yeah, so for me, deconstruction means a change of your mindset of your social framework. And that could mean religiously, that could mean socially, that could mean politically. I don't think deconstruction in and of itself only applies to one area. And I say that Crystal, I'm so sorry for pulling this a little political.
That's okay.
I have some friends that voted for Trump. They're hardcore Christians. They voted for Trump, and they are currently deconstructing their political mindset because their eyes were opened to what they actually voted for. And it is a process. It's a very similar process to when I deconstructed from Christianity. They're having to evaluate every single one of the things they were ever taught and ever believed in and ever voted for and all of these things. It's the same process. So for me, deconstruction really is a switch up of your social and moral mindset, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you make sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you come from a cult background, yes? Like, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, sir, I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's another thing is I deconstructed from the cult, but I was still in Christianity after the cult. It was the same steps, it was the same process, but a different mindset that was changing.
Right.
I also deconstructed politically after that. It's been like 6 years of deconstruction. Someone save me. I'm tired.
Yeah, I've been politically, it was like, I voted this because I didn't really want to cause this big rift in my family, but I was a lot of times independent, but I just didn't want to cause this big rift. I never, DJT was never my guy. And I lived in Jersey for a time, but he was never somebody, and then I remember the one time I did vote for him, and the first time, and I hadn't seen the clip of the disabled man, the reporter. I hadn't seen it. And I was working at a college at the time in a journalism class, taking notes for a kid with ADHD. And I saw that video and I literally had to leave the class. Hold on a second. I
totally
cried.
get it.
I literally cried like I could not. And then everything just flooded. And I went back. I was having flashbacks of like all the times I voted for Republicans and all this stuff, talking about fearing the communists and all this stuff, all this fear and all this, the gay agenda and all this horrible, and it just flooded me. I realized all this, and so over the years, deconstruction to me, I kind of laid out all my beliefs I had. I laid them out like like chefs do when they, make a deconstructed dish, watching the bear and stuff. But you laid it all out. I laid it all out, and I was like, I looked at each aspect and I said, is this harmful or hurtful? Does this harm people, or does it speak into somebody's life and bring them joy? And whatever that didn't bring them joy and kindness and empathy, I took that out. I severed that. I took it out, and I've gradually been doing that over the years. And I've had Christians come to me, and just the fact that I said I was deconstructing, they assumed I left the faith, and we deal with that.
Well, I think a lot of people assume that the minute you start deconstructing, you're suddenly an atheist.
Right.
Deconstructing for me is also a process. I think it's a journey. And here's the thing. I was indoctrinated when I was 3 years old, and I was a Christian for over 40 years. And there is no way that did not affect my actual brain, my neural pathways, my nervous system, everything about me. So I don't expect to stop deconstructing that. I expect that this will be the journey that I'm on for the rest of my life. And I'm not sad about that. I'm sad more that I was ever indoctrinated in the first place. I think indoctrination of children is horrible and harmful. And, but I don't know how we would ever change that. So I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying that that's what I think because it was my lived experience, And so I stopped believing before I started deconstructing. I already stopped believing. I was no longer convinced this God was real, and there was nothing I could do about it. I couldn't suddenly go, oh yeah, now I believe he's real again, because I realized like he was just as fake as every other God that I didn't believe in. It just suddenly dawned on me, wait a minute, like why do I believe in him and I literally don't believe in any of these other gods who have the same attributes, were written about the same time period even. and I couldn't justify it, so I couldn't believe in him anymore. But I didn't start deconstructing until I met this community. And then I was like, oh my God, like in this religion, I had so many harmful beliefs. I had so many lies that I just freaking believed. So many. And in deconstructing, it has felt amazing to get to rebuild my knowledge based on facts and truth and things like that. And so that's what deconstruct. It's going to be the rest of my life. I'm sure. I can't tell you how many times that I read the Bible and go, what are you talking about? Like, for instance, just yesterday we were doing a non-believers Bible study, and my whole life as a Christian, I was taught that Jesus was, thank you, Colin. Jesus was beaten beyond recognition on that cross. And I thought that was like New Testament lore. I thought that was New Testament stuff. And it wasn't. It was from Isaiah, which means it was never about Jesus in the first place. So here I thought that Jesus was beaten beyond recognition, and that's not even in the New Testament.
Okay,
that kind of stuff I'm still deconstructing.
Crystal, you win the trophy for who broke Bree's brain today. Congrats. What?
Right?
Well, I thank my daughters for getting me, and having daughters and thinking about things, especially political. I was like, I have daughters. I cannot support this. Like, I literally, there is no way. And over the years, I'm kind of a pacifist-ish. I'm kind of, not into that. I've always been kind of, and the AB thing has never been an issue, never been the number one issue. It's just not mentioned in scripture. It's just not, and I'm not a woman, so I just kind of, and there's exceptions, and it's disgusting if people don't see exceptions. And I don't want to go into all that again, but seeing my daughters and like just, listening to them, and it got me more involved in politics. I was spending more attention to it and actually making informed decisions. And like, I cannot do this and have daughter. Like, how can you, you know what I mean? So it's like that. Yeah. And like you, I've been a Christian over 40 years and was a pastor's kid. So like, I mean, the amount of things that I have seen, right? But I'll give, as the time I tried to be a pastor, and I was, if you've seen, Shiny Happy People, not the one breed, not the one, but the other one, Teen Mania. I was at an event, Battle Cry, and I just saw this. I was like, this is a cult. This is horrible. And the whole thing with willing, martyrdom, can I say it? Wanting to sign up, go up front, and be like, if somebody does this, a pew pew, points a pew pew, I'm willing to go and say, never deny my faith. And I told the kids, I got them finally back, back to the church, eventually a youth group. And I was like, you know what? If anybody ever suggests that if somebody points a pew to your head and you have to profess Jesus Christ, never do that. Always lie every time. Never want to do that. Always protect, because the whole Columbine thing where they made up that story that they were going around and saying, are you a Christian? And then on a live, even though they knew this girl, they knew these kids.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
So much.
Well, it's been lovely talking to you. Did you have any more questions, or did you guys have any more questions for him?
I actually came up with a question, if that's okay. Hold on, I wrote it down.
About time, Bray. No, I'm joking.
Cool. Yeah, sorry. I have so many stories. Sorry if I talk too long sometimes.
Oh, no, you're fine. Hey, you guys, keep tapping the screen. I usually like to be at 100,000 when we end, but we're only at 28,000. I know there's only 17 in here, but more people join when you tap, okay? Also, thank you all for the gifts. Thank you for the shares, 111 shares. That's amazing. And thank you for hanging out with me today. Hello, everybody on YouTube. I don't know how the sound is yet. I'm going to see if I could check in on my iPad now, if it's charged enough. And then, if I have problem with the sound again today, I'll see if it's something to do with the way my Ethernet got put back in. Check over here. 8,000. I know there's only 17 in here, but more. Sorry. Didn't mean to do that to you guys. Hey, Angel, Lord, it's free to think. Wired Sister, is it Wired Sister? Good to see you guys over on YouTube. And then I think I'm over up on the Deconstruction Junction YouTube as well. Let me see if you guys are over there. There we are. Hey, Silly Goose is over there. Joe is over there. Tahir, thank you for always helping me out over there. Good to see everybody. Okay, are you ready for your question?
I'm ready. I'm ready for Bree's question.
Testing.
I guess.
There we go.
Yep, you're there, Bree.
I'm kind of scared.
Okay, so what authority do you appeal to when your moral convictions disagree with your faith?
Well, I'm going to try, if this makes sense. Right now I just go and I just trust my gut and I go by what I believe to be true because of all I've seen and experienced. And if God does exist and he's right, if you believe God exists, which I do, he's right here and he's honoring my decisions and I'm not a puppet being controlled. And if he's right here and I've been, this journey's been so long I've been on, and if he doesn't trust me now to make right decisions, and if I don't trust myself, then what am I doing, right? So, if that makes sense, that's kind of where I'm at. So I just act, I just trust my gut and whatever my instincts are. I'm not going to trust,
that, to be honest.
So what Christians tell me I need to do. Because
Yeah,
I've gotten
that.
myself
Thank you.
far. Thank you. I appreciate you guys for bringing me up here. I really do. I think it was productive.
Absolutely. I'm really glad you came up. It was very nice talking to you. And you're invited back. Anytime you cut up, tell me. Don't forget I'm the friendly, okay?
Yeah.
So
Have an amazing weekend, guys.
Thank you. You too.
Weekend. Later.
Happy Valentine's
I will if I can ever get these dang toilets clean.
You guys, by the way, I do have a Discord server, and if you want, that link is in my bio. Also, join the Deconstruction Junction. That link is in my bio. But in my Discord server, I saw Board Agnostic, I think, is doing this in their Discord server, and I liked it. So I stole it, but I always give credit where credit is due. So it's Board Agnostic. Anyway, they ask a question. I don't know if they do it monthly or weekly, but I'm doing it weekly right now, and I really like it. So if you are in my Discord, head over there. And this week's question is, what emotions have come up or are coming up that you weren't allowed to feel before? That's my question for those of you who are deconstructing. Because I think there's a lot of emotions that we are told not to have when we are in the faith.
Anger.
Yeah, that's a big one, huh?
That's exactly what I was going to say was anger. Even though it says be angry and sin not, they really did not want you to be angry or even curious.
Yeah, it's true.
I feel like they only want what they deem as righteous anger, which isn't righteous anger is only righteous to those who agree with it, right? And so,
Right.
like, what me, you, and DC may view as a righteous anger, someone else may not. And unfortunately, especially when you're a woman in the church, it's almost always boiled down to you're getting too emotional.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Doubt is another one. You weren't ever allowed to feel doubt. Doubt meant that you didn't trust God. Doubt meant that your faith was waning. And that was the big, because, oh my God, don't lose your faith. Don't want to go to hell. Don't lose your faith. So don't doubt. Don't doubt anything. Being depressed was really bad. It can be depressed because if you were depressed, that meant that you did not appreciate everything God had given you.
I don't know. All I feel right now is just total anger and everything. I'm just angry right now.
Me too. Did you know that that's what my next album is called, Angry Atheist? And so that's why I wrote, Cuntified and Block Me are both going on that album. But I'm writing the song Angry Atheist next because I was like, God, they always come, sometimes we're just talking and having a really good conversation like this, like we are right now. And people will come in my chat and be like, oh my God, they're so angry. And I'm like, we're not even talking about anything right now. We could talk about cookies and you would call me an angry atheist. And then I thought, but you know what? I am fucking angry. And one of the things that makes me angry is that you're not fucking angry. Why aren't you angry?
Yes. Why aren't you angry? Why are you not fucking angry? Ugh.
Right. Okay. Yeah, so that's my next song is about that because I'm so fucking angry and I want to know why they're not angry. Here's the thing, you guys come up here and say that you have objective morality from the God Most High. Okay, you come up here and tell us that it is not non-believers that are protecting the P3DOs in the Epstein files. It is you believers who say you have objective morals. That makes me angry. Hey, Nicholas, how are you today?
My objective morality says we should bring out the wood chippers.
Nicholas.
Hashtag make America afraid again.
No. Spoken like a true Canadian.
Yes. You would not believe how many Canadians got that fire in us that we had about 80 some years ago. We're ready to harness our rage back from the gooses and yeah, we're ready. Let's go. We got our cans of corn ready too, I'm just saying.
Yes.
Love how I didn't have to explain that to you.
No, you did not. Oh my goodness. Well, today has actually been a pretty decent day. I did talk to No Degree Required today though, Nicholas. It was going pretty well at first.
My condolences. Do you need anything? Foot rub, coffee, 10-week vacation.
I feel like I just need a little bit of sanity from him. That's the only thing that's gonna make me feel better, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Mundane, can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
22.
Okay, and are you a believer of the God of the Bible?
Amen. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Okay, when you join a live, just so you know this, and people are already in mid-conversation, it's always very polite to mute your mic, let them finish their conversation, and then wait for them to introduce you, okay?
So sorry, that's bad on my end. My bad.
Which topic did you want to discuss today?
Oh, probably number 2.
Were you on Joel or Mezzo's live last night?
No, I don't know who those people are.
Okay. So why should women be Christian?
Yeah, because it's the only actual way that they can actualize their rights.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so without Christianity, women wouldn't have rights.
So, can you hear that laughing in the background? That's my 17-year-old laughing at you right now.
Hey, Nicholas, I gotta say, your profile doesn't match your voice. Pipe down. Anyway.
Yeah, it's genetics, right? So, well, no, hold on. Let me explain. So, genetics, right? Like, some of us are born with our father's voices. Some of us are born with the sound of a prepubescent boy. You know, we can't really pick or choose our voices. I mean, are you a man or a woman? I genuinely can't. Oh, I'm all man. I'm all man. Like, yeah, hips down. I'm fucking magic. So
you sure? You sure?
Well, I haven't had a complaint so far.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What are your pronouns,
sorry.
Mundane? What are your pronouns?
I don't. Jesus Christ is Lord. I don't really.
Those aren't pronouns.
Jesus Christ is Lord's not a pronoun, Pumpkin. Did you not learn basic grammar when you were in 6th grade?
Jesus / Lord.
Those still aren't pronouns.
That's not pronouns.
None of those are pronouns. Like at all.
Wait, you don't think is a pronoun?
I think we should just use she, her because obviously tends to be she, her.
I'm he, him. No, I'm he.
Oh, so you do have pronouns. Got it.
He just said is a pronoun, you guys. He said the word is.
Yeah,
a pronoun.
How embarrassing.
Don't
Anyways,
understand why
could we get to the
Christians...
discussion?
Hold on. I don't know why you Christians are so like hung up on gender, considering your God is genderless. Like, why are you so hung up on something your God is?
Jesus Christ took the form of a man, by the way.
Yeah, well, just because he took a form of a man doesn't mean he's still a man. I mean, God's genderless.
No, he is a man. No, Jesus is a man.
Okay, but your God is not.
When you say my God, you're referring to
yeah. So like the Father, that's genderless.
Yeah. So
yeah. Okay. So why are you so like mad and ragey about gender when even your God doesn't have one?
Yeah, because you guys are teaching little kids to chop off.
No. See, the Catholic Church.
You guys are teaching little kids. You mentioned the Catholic Church. Yeah, you can.
You guys are actually diddling little kids.
Yeah,
so why don't you shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
You guys are diddling little kids and hiding the molesters. You guys are paying out all of the people that you harm and hide and protect. You guys are the ones who don't want the Epstein files released. You are a P3DO protector, sir.
Yeah, you can thank the Catholic Church for all your hospitals and schools. Anyway.
Yeah, we can thank the Catholic Church for all of the lawsuits.
Actually, I'm going to thank the
lawsuits against what?
No, hold on. I'm going to thank those Middle Easterners.
Oh, yeah, you're going to thank is...
The first Middle Easterners came up with the idea of a hospital. Same with China. So I'll thank them, but I'm not going to thank a Christian because, yeah.
I just came up.
Of course, you're going to thank
Israel. Near me are Seventh-day Adventists. They're not even from you. Not the ones by me.
They came from the Catholics.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
You're such an idiot.
Wow, you are so.
Should we thank the Catholics for all the hoarding that they've done of wealth? Should we thank the Catholics for how they have been, how they did the Spanish Inquisition? Should we thank the Catholics for the slavery? Should we thank the Catholics?
Amen.
Amen. Get the fuck off my panel, you piece
Hey,
of
Matt.
shit. Somebody block
No,
Mundane,
no,
please.
no, 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 no.
Let
So,
me
like-
know when you guys find him. His name's Mundane.
Sorry, I just had a reflex to come
Blocked.
up when someone
Thank
does something like that to lovely people in my community, and like I just like reflex request. So like, hi.
They do call you mother,
Hello.
right?
Yeah, they do call me mother. So yes.
It's really sad because I know they're projecting. They're projecting because I pull way more women than they could ever imagine. Meanwhile, they're still whacking off in their mom's basements, and
You know,
I
good
get
line.
it.
Told me,
A
Nick,
lot of
that's for
women.
damn sure.
Oh, did anybody? I need to send that to Fen. Did anybody record that?
Record what? What just happened here?
What, you recorded me
I
being
have the
straight?
recording.
Shocker! It's almost like I told you this whole time I'm straight. Send it to Fed. You're not proving anything.
It's the
all
beard.
recorded. It's all recorded. You guys in chat are cracking me up, okay? The comments in chat are funny.
Bucket pool was a sin. That's beautiful.
You got to thank Christians for playing pool.
Yep, you guys, a few announcements. So the podcast dropped on Spotify podcasts on Wednesday. I'll try to get it out to all podcasts this week. I have a lot to do, okay? I'm sorry. So I'll try to get it. It's called Auntie Sermons, AUNTIE. If you listen to it, go give it a really good review because it's good, okay? Also, my album Ex Parte is out everywhere you stream music. I was on Girls Gone Godless, the podcast, and that drops on Sunday. So check that out on Sunday. And then Godless Engineer is going to be joining me live right here on Sunday, right after Atheist Sunday School with Mezzo at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And so join us here for Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. We tried yesterday to play Divine or Decline with Christians, but they don't want to prove that they have the Holy Spirit. I'll show you the background. You're going to love this, Nick.
So, how is Kate today?
Kate's pretty good.
Good.
Chilling at home.
So I put this background up, Nick, and I thought if people had the Holy Spirit, they could come up and then we could play Divine or Decline with us. Because if you have the Holy Spirit, you should be able to tell which one's from the Bible, right?
Yeah, technically.
Technically,
discernment.
right? They did that one. Yeah. I don't know why they didn't want to play. So we just played the game up here ourselves, but do I vote for Christians? Do I have a choice in a Christian country? Do people think before they ask questions?
No, they don't.
I don't vote based on somebody's religion, Pumpkin, but no, I don't often have a choice because I'm in a two-candidate, type of government system. So usually my vote has to go between a Christian and a Christian. And I wouldn't vote for somebody just because they're not a Christian, because that doesn't tell me anything about what they will or will not do for people. I vote for people who will help people.
I'm pretty sure, Crystal, I voted for the Baptists.
So,
Last
Spurgeon,
presidential lecture.
Spurgeon, man to man here, don't ever call a woman a pet name. It is disgusting. Don't do that.
Oh, it's because I called him Pumpkin. I didn't get that upset with him when he sent it back to me. It's because I called him Pumpkin.
And he's gone.
Quick reminder, everybody, your primaries are coming up in about 2.5 weeks. You should have already registered to vote. Your general election day will be March 3rd, and I believe early voting opens up sometime next week. Vote in the primaries. Don't make me yell at you.
You'll only get those Searles checks if you take a picture of your voting stub.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And if you don't vote, I'm gonna start coming down harder on y'all than I have been. Yeah. I think
Vote.
Granted, this is just the primaries, so Nick, I would just wait till like November to come down hard on them.
Oh, I'm gonna come down hard on them both ways.
But that being said, the primaries are the best time to try and dismantle this two-party system. The primaries is when you vote your conscience. The primaries is when you vote third party. Because at the end of the day, we can't change the system unless we're voting in every single election. Vote March 3rd. Thank you. That is my rant for today.
That means in your city and your county too. And if you don't know shit about what's going on in your city or county, go
learn something.
Fucking look.
Vote all the way down the ballot.
I think March 28th, I think that's going to be No Kings Rally. I think that's going to be the next No Kings Rally.
I think so too.
Ooh. You guys go play my song out there. Go blast it.
I haven't missed an election, local, primary, federal, since I turned 18. And I'm 52, so how many is that? That's a lot.
I don't think I missed an election either. I think I missed one, and I lied and said I didn't because that's how bad I felt that I missed that election. And I was a Christian though, because Christians lie. Okay, it's part of their job. They have to. So I never realized how much we lied as Christians. I lied to myself. I lied to others.
Was when I told someone I would pray for them. And I forgot.
Oh my God. You know how many times Christians lie about that? Come on now. They always say, I'll pray for you. And then they don't. They always say that.
The biggest lie I ever told as a Christian was that I was praying before meals. I didn't pray once.
Oh my gosh.
Not a chance.
That's so funny.
Oh,
I don't know. I told a lot.
Sorry, Crystal.
No, go ahead.
No, like that praying for a meal thing. Like, so you ever go out to lunch with a colleague, and then like food comes, and then they pray right before you eat.
Yeah.
Oh, that always that doesn't make me mad, right? Like they can do that, but it's just like, okay.
That question actually came up on DC's Deconstruction Facebook page, and I said, I kind of just sit there and stare at my food until the inconvenience is over.
Yeah.
I just start eating. I'm like, fuck you. I'm hungry.
No,
Actually, I guess I've always done that.
I think I sit and wait because now I'm trying to assess how I talk to this person. That's how much I don't trust Christians.
Does anybody do these like lightly probing questions when you're meeting someone new? Where you're just like, yeah, that Kamala Harris girl is kind of cool, isn't she? Side eye. Like, exactly.
Yeah, I always did the thing where I didn't wait to eat though for prayer because I guess there's stories from when I was little and poor. We were poor as fuck, okay, when I was little. And they would give us something to eat or whatever, and they would all bow their heads to pray, and they got done praying, and I would say, more please, because I had already eaten everything while they were praying. Y'all pray too long. My food was gone already. Shorten them damn prayers up.
My daddy's a Baptist preacher, okay? If I waited till he was done praying, I would never eat.
At least the Catholic, like pre-meal prayer is pretty short. A couple sentences,
My family, prior to my aunt passing away, we didn't do a prayer before dinner. Mom, what was that song Auntie Fee used to sing? And it was actually really pretty. It was a prayer, but it was sung. And I'm going to have to get a hold of my grandma. But we stopped doing that after she passed away. It kind of makes me sad. In a more like nostalgic way, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I totally get that. When my best friend was Catholic and I was Methodist, so we were basically the little odd couple of Christians hanging out together. And my mom didn't care. Methodists are lukewarm Christians. They're all going to hell. You guys need to know this, okay? And so my mom didn't care that I hung out with a little Catholic girl, but her mom cared that she hung out with a little Methodist girl. And we would get invited over to each other's house for dinner or what have you. And then one night I got invited to her house. Well, not one night. Many times I ate at her house. So I would always hear the Catholic prayers. And at that age, I had to memorize because, you know, like if you hear them all the time, you're going to memorize them. So I would just say their prayers with them. But just one time, my little Methodist brain just said, "Hail Mary, full of grace, bless these freckles on my face." And me and my friends started laughing, and her mom got so mad, and my mom had to have a little talk with me when I got home.
Really quickly, the hot
really
rod.
Mad at me, huh?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
really
what is she
quickly.
so mad about?
Hot rod. Okay, so something I've noticed with politicians, you have the Christian politicians, and then you have the politicians that say they're Christians. We see that difference in Canada all the time with our politicians because it's kind of just like the norm to be like, yeah, I'm Christian. I don't think Harris or Obama are actually in the Christian category.
Harris was Baptist.
Yeah, I don't. There's something about her though that it's like I feel like it's not a smokescreen, a face. You know, a face.
Wait, what is?
Okay, we're gonna play a real quick game that DC and I came up with yesterday. So I'm gonna show you a piece of artwork by an atheist and then by a Christian. Okay, and we're gonna rate them. Okay, so this is by you can't see it all. Wait, this is by an atheist. See, it's like a little brass apple.
Yeah.
That's by atheist. Everybody, from 1 to 10, rate the atheist piece of art at your leisure. Everybody, you could just tell us. You guys on the panel can just tell me what you think.
What is it again? I just see
move to the side again, real quick.
It's like a little brass apple.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing! Actually,
I know the leaf details.
I think it's kind of pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think? In the chat, drop your numbers. Give it a rating from 1 to 10. 10 being the best, obviously. And up here, I'm giving it a. Everybody, what do you guys? 7 for DC. Bree, what do you think? Nicholas, Kate, what do you guys think?
I was gonna go about 7.5, 8.
Okay.
I'll give it a 6.
6, all right. And DC said 7. Bree, what do you think?
I'm not gonna lie. I saw my friend at my kid's preschool. I don't know what we're voting on, but
We're just talking about what this is a piece of art by an atheist artist, and we're just rating it 1 to 10.
oh, I mean, I think it's kind of ugly. So like 3.
Okay.
Shut the non-believer.
Yeah, but what about not just aesthetics but technique? Because I rated mine
Here's
more
a
on
Christian
technique.
one.
And it's blurry.
Of course it is.
Well,
They copied the same piece.
I mean that
tracks.
That totally tracks.
Except for they didn't probably like the back half is missing.
Probably, or it's hollow because they forgot to step.
It won't let me show you the other pieces. Let me try to get at least one. Hang on.
Oh no.
This sucks. It's saying they're not big enough or something. I don't know.
Not gonna make the joke. I am not gonna make the joke.
You already did.
Make the joke.
All right, here's this
Oh
one.
my gosh.
What the hell are you?
Okay, you guys gotta rate this masterpiece. This is a real piece of art from a Christian artist. Okay?
Vox said
Real piece
-3.
of art. I'm sorry. I have some really good ones. So I'll try to fix the resolution and we'll play this again next week when I'm live because I think these are funny. And I have a bunch of them actually. But I can't get them all
I'll
out.
give
My
it-
favorite piece of Christian art.
I'll give it a 2 because the hands and faces actually look like hands and faces. But he gets doctor point for Jesus being white. So
So one.
Okay.
So one.
It's a
Why
one.
is the little boy the little spoon? I just don't like it at all.
I'll give it like a 0.5, just
yeah.
because they put labor into it. Just a little credit.
Okay. All right. I think
They
I
colored
agree with
inside the
0.5.
lines.
Let me see if I can pull another one up.
Better.
Jesus is pulling a Catholic priest over here.
This is my favorite one.
What is happening?
Gosh. You need to get in front of that real quick. Just go ahead and get in front of that.
Stop!
We love the TikTok shop.
We love the TikTok shop.
God. No.
This is Jesus. You guys, he wants it more than that man. He's like,
why is Jesus
Bogart
always
that man's
white?
fix? Wait, I didn't see the whole pictures. Was Jesus Bogart in the man's fix?
Jesus was getting spun.
Yeah, Jesus Bogarted it. He snuck his arm in there before the other guy could. So Jesus was like, yeah, let me have that. That's our last one. Last one.
Oh my God.
That's all we got left.
That's all I got left, you asshole.
Yeah, you know what he had to do to get that? Damn, poor guy.
That is
No,
one
you
of my
just-
favorite
Crystal.
real Christian pieces of art. It's made
You
by
Just to be
are-
in that room 30 minutes later, I bet it got wild.
You are making me act up at my kids' preschool. Okay, I don't appreciate the chaos.
Well, you guys, I had told DC I would work on this game today. I think that it's
Oh, I love
it's
it.
a pretty fun game. We're gonna
Yeah.
have to get
Do we
you
ever
guys
rate
should
that one?
send me them. We should make a channel in my Discord for this so we could rate more pieces of atheist and Christian art. We did not rate that one. You guys give me a rating 1 to 10 on Jesus is a junkie. I don't know if that's the real name of the piece, but that's what I'm calling it.
-1.
Solid 10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah. PMP Jesus gets a 10 for me, for sure.
It is like just my favorite piece of Christian art. I don't need a Kincaid. I don't need a Kincaid.
You don't need a
I got
Kincaid.
that.
The hands looked funky, the faces looked funky, and Jesus was blonde. You don't get any points for this.
Jesus, take this shot.
Take it from my arm, 'cause I don't want to get high no more. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I actually expected that a lot more of you had seen that before. I'm really shocked that none of you guys had seen that before. It's just one of my favorites. Anyway, you guys, we're going to be finishing up in about 20 minutes. If you want to come up, you could be a friendly, you could be a Christian. If you are a Christian, I want to know, do you have the Holy Spirit? And we're going to play a little game so we can see if you do have the Holy Spirit. This guy said in chat, how's she going to be able to know if we have the Holy Spirit if she doesn't have the Holy Spirit? And I thought, Silly man. I know how to test the Holy Spirit. I know how to do that.
I love it when Christians tell
Because
me
I'm
I
a
can't
witch.
discern the text because I don't have the Holy Spirit. I'm like, you're right, I have an extensive commentary.
Oh my gosh, my
Exactly.
friend.
Hey, Vice, welcome to the show. Can I just get your age for TikTok purposes?
Hi, Bree, we're 27, right?
Yes, we're 27.
We're 27.
Awesome. And Ace, welcome to the show. You've been here before. Welcome back. Welcome back.
I'm playing rabbit holes.
Oh, are you going down your research rabbit holes?
I am.
Is that my fault?
Yeah. No, so I wrote down the Artemis of the temple of Artemis, and then I went to the next deity, which was Asclepius, which led me down many rabbit holes, because I ended up writing the original Greek, which it got translated into English, but the original Greek Hippocratic Oath. And then there was some daughters' names of his that weren't on my list already. So I went down that rabbit hole, and then one of the daughters' names had many other names. So I went down that rabbit hole, and then the eagle, there was multiple deities, multiple different characters with that name, so I went down that rabbit hole, and then some of them have brothers and sisters, so I go down that rabbit hole because I don't have those names. And then, places is a whole different story. So, yeah, I'm going
And then you
down
went to
rabbit
China.
hole.
So many
already did.
Holy. Oh, wait.
God damn it, I'm back in the cold. SOS.
So yeah, that's currently what I'm working on, because I'm doing a week on, week off, so that way I don't get burnt out on one topic. So this week it's the pantheons, and then whatever rabbit hole I end up down, because obviously rabbit holes happen when you're searching, and then you find like names of places and you want to look into the place, or you find like on my list I have the ancient hospitals, because they were called sanctuaries of Asclepius.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't went down that rabbit hole yet, because the name rabbit hole kind of has me in a bind right now.
Oh, wait till Ace goes down the Mesopotamian rabbit hole. Ace is never going to come back out of it.
But I just wanted to say, wait a minute. I thought that mundane guy said that we had to thank Catholics for hospitals. Damn.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Asclepius is actually the ancient Greek. So that one's a very interesting story, and I think, yeah. So I haven't posted what I'm working on today, but if you're in the Boma Disco, under the notes section, I have all the way up to the Hippocratic Oath posted in the in it.
Oh yeah, I saw some of that.
Yes. So I gotta touch back on the Chinese and the Egyptian pantheon much later, once I farther down my research line, because I have those sectioned off and I don't want to do it again.
Are you looking for like medical history, like the history of medicine?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're just talking about hospitals and stuff. I was gonna say, because I could send you, well, it would have to be screenshots of all of my notes from when I was taking the history of medicine. So it's really, I can't remember if it was Iraq or Iran had the very first hospital.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just really cool.
I keep
Vice, I wanted to say hi to you real quick, because you haven't had a chance to say anything. So how are you today?
I'm just getting over, I think it's the norovirus they said. So I'm
so sorry.
So I'm just like on here to talk to friendlies.
Well, it's good to have you. I know you're a friend of Bree, so it's good to have you up here. Hey, you guys, I want to remind everybody, and I'm going to play this song for you right now. We're doing a music video as a community of women, femme presenting. And so if you want to be involved, I need the videos tomorrow, vertical format, just like you would a TikTok. Most people are just, you're just going to lip sync to the song and do as many takes as you want, as many clips as you want, different outfits if you want, whatever you want to do. I want you to have fun. And so if you want to be in it and we haven't talked yet, just DM me here or on Discord after the show. I will get you the song. I will get you the lyrics. And Bree, I will get it for you for your Galentine's. But we're going to play right now, Cuntified. We're going to play Cuntified. It is my latest song I wrote because the girl's gone godless. I said it right, you guys. Somebody clipped that shit. I said it right. Okay, so here is Cuntified.
Hey ladies, what's on the menu tonight? I want to dismantle the patriarchy, and I'm feeling cuntified. Line up the shots, spark up a blunt. Every lady here is serving cunt. Not an ounce of testosterone inside. Got full confidence in my stride. No cunt, stand for the noise you make. No consideration left to take. You had the mic for centuries. Now watch us cunts practice mutiny. We're serving cunt. It's the damn dress code. Serving cunt. Some men and Bristol. Serving cunt. Booming cuntified. Men all pause while we take the mic. We're serving cunt. It's the damn dress code. Serving cunt. Some manifesto. Serving cunt. Booming cuntified. Men all pause while we take the mic. No heads bowed, all eyes up front. Every lady here is serving cunt. We playing ooh, no reverse and flipping the script. Taking back control like an icon. I'm bitch. No consent for the noise you bring. No consideration for fragile kings. You had the power, had everything. Now mama says it's time to cut the string. We're serving cunt. It's the damn dress code. Serving cunt. Some manifesto. Serving cunt. Boom being cuntified. Men all pause while we take the mic. We're serving cunt. It's the damn dress code. Serving cunt. Some manifesto. Serving cunt. Boom being cuntified. Men all pause while we take the mic. Confidence high, no safety net. You look confused, you won't forget. We won't tolerate your disrespect. You're about to concede, lil man, bet. You talk loud, but you saying less. We speak once with confidence. Now step aside and let a cunt speak. Your contractors know you reached your peak. I still warm, we ain't done yet. Let the silence sit, yeah, you felt that hit. This ain't rage, this ain't regret. This is convocation at its best. We serving cunt. It's the damn dress code. Serving cunt. It's our manifesto. Serving cunt. Holding cuntified. Men on pause while we take the mic. Serving cunt. It's the damn dress code. Serving cunt. It's our manifesto. Serving cunt. Holding cuntified. Men on pause while we take the mic. We serving cunt. We serving cunt. We serving cunt. Overlapping voices say we serving cunt. We serving cunt. We serving cunt.
That's the song. If you want to be a part of the video, just get in touch with me after, excuse me, after the show, and I will get you the song and the lyrics.
I'm so excited. Okay, I have a vision.
Me too. Oh, good. I'm so excited because I really love your videos.
We're gonna jump on my bed.
Oh, that would be so cute. I love it.
Right? We're gonna jump on my bed.
Yes.
Maybe I can convince them to do a pillow fight.
That would be so cute. I would love that. That would be really cute. I should check to see who is live so we can figure out who we're going to raid. If you are in the audience and you want to come up and chat, the guest box is open. I'm still here for about 15 more minutes. I want to know whether you have the Holy Spirit. Christians tell me all the time that I cannot possibly understand the words that are in that Bible because I don't have the Holy Spirit. I'm not really sure how Christians become Christians if you can't understand the words in the Bible without the Holy Spirit. How do they ever become Christians. That confuses me. But more than that confusing me is the fact that, love you too, is the fact that you guys say that and then you can't tell whether the scripture comes from the Bible or not. And that's what we're going to check. Can you tell when the scripture is really from the Bible? I don't know if you can.
So want to know something off topic but kind of fun for me?
Yeah.
Okay. I started hold on. Testing? Okay, there we go. So I'm in ballet. And I started going on point the past couple weeks. I got my first point blister. I feel like I'm finally a dancer.
That's really cool. That's like when you get your calluses when you're learning how to play guitar.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Exactly. I'm so excited.
It's like a badge of honor.
Yeah. And we did our first, me and my partner did our first combination on point last night. All the way through. It was about 35-second combinations. It's the longest I've ever danced on point continuously.
That's really cool. That is really cool. Congratulations.
Thanks, Bill.
You guys, I think we're going to go raid Joel. I'm going to go ahead and end it because I'm really, really hungry and I really have to go to the bathroom. And so we're going to go ahead and end today. I will be here Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time with a Godless Engineer. So check that out. And don't forget also Girls Gone Godless podcast that I am on. The episode drops on Sunday as well. Check out, make sure you're following everybody who's up here. Okay. Follow all of these people. And then let's go raid Joel and say Crystal's better than Joel. Because we know it's true. I love you guys. Have a great day. And I'll see you around the mean streets of TikTok and YouTube. Bye, everybody.
Lovely meeting you.
Bye.
Lovely meeting you too. Bye.